Welcome back, everybody, to our last game of today. We've had 8 straight games. We're in our 9th game in a row. We've had 5 best of 3s here, all of them going the distance, all of them going to 3 games. We've had 2 streams going on. We've had 1 champion of this group, which was Dignitas, but here we are. 2nd and 3rd places up for grabs. It's QPad Red Pandas up against Team Kaipi, and we're in game number 3. It just seems like it couldn't be any other way. As I'm Gots from Beyond the Summit. Joining me is Blaze. He's done some formerly and still of TPL and currently doing some casting for BTS. How are you doing? And are you as somewhat deflated as me after 9 games of casting?
No, man. No way, man. I mean, in this situation, you just gotta keep going with it, roll with it. Never enough Dota. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot. But I honestly think, if you get best of 3s all the way up in every single match, both winners and losers brackets, up until the finals, 2nd and 3rd decider, and then you only get 2 games out of that, just no. It's just anticlimactic. We got to go for 3rd.
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with it. It's just my casting is getting somewhat rambly and delirious and fumbling over words, calling spells wrong. But that's the beauty of 9 games straight of casting. We're going to see how things unravel here. Game number 3. Mag gets picked up again. No surprises there. And QPad actually going to go back for the Leshrac CK, which they've done quite a bit of, generally as a dual lane mid. And we'll see whether or not it works out for them this game. Maybe we even see an offensive tri lane.
Yeah, a lot of cool roaming. I really like Jerax's Leshrac, honestly. Not only this amazing splitters that he's been able to put out, but in general, he encourages his team to go for rotations. I'm actually not sure who makes the calls, but either way, when you see that Lesh, you know that he's not just going to be effective in one lane where he's like dual mid and it's babysitting. He's going to be making an impact across the map, and that'll free up space for every core hero that they drop down. But as far as the Magnus pick, I don't know. There's some questionability with that in the sense that most games that I've seen today, there's been at least one Magnus flubbed RP, like 100%. A Snaking did it, and a Rise did it, and Select did it. I mean, it just keeps on adding up. So obviously, still a very impactful hero, but it's just kind of funny to see here.
Yeah, that's very true. Back even in the Empire game, Empire had a stand-in playing the Mag who whiffed an RP or 2. So it's hilarious because the hero, you can miss half your RPs and like Twitch chat will flame the hell out of you for it, but the 1 RP you land will win you the game. That's why the hero's so strong. You've got a 100-second cooldown, which is way too short for the record. I believe that's just ridiculous. Sure. Considering it's a better ultimate than Black Hole, it's a better ultimate than like all these other spells like a Darkseer Wall of Replica, and it's got a shorter cooldown. It seems ridiculous to me, but we've so far seen the Mag RPs win teams the game despite there being a lot of missed ones.
To be fair, Black Hole looks absolutely more awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm on board with that.
Nevertheless, interesting. As far as this band goes, it looks like everybody's going to be taking out carries. QPad definitely going to go for a secondary core hero. Like, they know that the CK, especially without an IO, is not going to be the end-all be-all for their number 1. So they're going to want to carry, but Kaipi haven't drafted theirs up either. So in this situation, we're actually seeing Gyrocopter and Anti-Mage and presumably even more carries taken off the board.
Yeah, I feel KP are thinking it's time for the PL. They've gone 2 games without doing it. It's something, I wouldn't say it's not at all a go-to strat for them, but considering the importance of this game as far as deciding who gets 2nd place, who advances to that round of 8 for the We Play Dota 2, they may go back for it. And also, I think it fits in well. It's a decent hero against a CK and a Mag. If you just keep on spamming them, get the mana burn really cripples both those 2 heroes. If Mag doesn't have mana for a second RP, or even if you get him before he can get off a first one, CK another mana-dependent hero. So PL hurts both these heroes, and also it can be well protected by a Bane with one other support. So I would, if QPad don't ban it out, I think KP may look to go for it. Or the Ursa. There's always the Ursa.
Always the Ursa. But, yeah, no, I'm not too certain. The draft hasn't really shifted too much from between, like, what we saw in Game 1 and Game 3. The Queen of Pain is on, specifically the Kaipi, the same way as they were in 2nd. So, presumably, Arise will pick up the Queen of Pain, and from there, Bone 7 will run that Darkseer. Of course, they do have Zizou for his Bane. I mean, I don't think there's been a game without him playing Bane, like 100%. Every single match I've cast for them, and I have cast multiple series for them, I would definitely say that he's pretty much been 100% on that Bane. And honestly, who can blame them? They've been doing so darn well. I talked a little bit about how QPad didn't draft up much reliable disable to cancel out that ultimate. Not so in this case. The skewer is actually extremely good because you can always blink on top of Bane, skewer him into the group as he's always going to be facing the target he's RPing, right on top of the people that are DPSing the target that he's Fiend's Gripping, if that made any sense at all anyways. It is a great cluster mechanism where you see the Fiend's Grip, you wait for that, and Magnus can just gonna make a big reverse polarity sandwich. And from there, great opportunities to follow it up. Of course, CK and Leshrac add in their own. So I think they're going to be much more effective up against the Bane this time around. And it just comes down to how the early roaming proceeds and those carries.
Yeah,
who's going to be picked up there.
Yeah, I got to wonder what Sing Sing going to be playing. Maybe we look back towards his puck, something which they used to run quite a lot of, but could fit in here. They don't really have a whole lot of damage apart. They'll be heavily relying on the CK, but I feel Puck's a hero who can actually throw around a lot of burst damage, so maybe worth taking. But QPad right now, maybe just want to go for their other support first off. I like the fact we're not going to be seeing another Gyrocopter game. We're not going to be seeing another Anti-Mage game. We've seen a lot of those two heroes. We do still have the Mag in the pool. And QPad going to go back for a Sand King. Probably going to be that support hero played by Mini.
Yep, so Mini was running the Sand King to great effect previously with the Leshrac Jarex, and I got to highlight back onto that game one how darn good that Sand King was, because not only did he set up multiple kills when Bone 7 overextended to get the first blood and then follow through over and over and over, but that Blink Dagger was so darn quick.
Yeah.
Like the Blink Dagger Arcanes was up in a matter of minutes on a hero that generally is very deprived. So it is a little bit of a risky play, because if they don't make some magic happen, get a couple of really easy picks with smoke ganking, if Kaipi plays defensively, the Sand King isn't going to actually provide them too much utility. But if it does, I'm not going to say when it does, but if it does, they have so much to gain from a farmed up Sand King.
Yeah, we saw it back in game one where Sand King just got ridiculous levels and sort of managed to sort of have a pretty high impact in the game as a result. Question is here, what do KP look to go for? I feel Ursa doesn't really work when you've got 4 heavy disablers, all with stuns. In Mag's case, he's got a couple disables. In Sand King case, he's hard to latch onto. So I'd be very surprised if they went for the Ursa here. They're going to grab Rubik for now, which is tons of good spells to steal with Mag. Mag Ultimate. Burrow Strike is actually an amazing spell to steal as Rubik, and then you've got stuff like Chaos Bolt, Split Earth. So great little pickup here. The question is always, of course, what is Eternal Envy playing as carry? And it looks like PL.
Yeah, I'm amazed that they let the Rubik slip through, honestly. I mean, I understand Gyrocopter, Lifestealer, and Lena are really great hands, but they have such a great team. Rubik is he's a kid in a candy store. When it comes to his spell steal, he literally just clicks somebody and he's happy with what he gets. But if Storm Spirit does come out, and that will put out pressure one way or another, I don't actually think that there's that many squishy heroes that I can just zoom on in and be happy to pick off. But nevertheless, I mean, if he beats out Queen of Pain in mid, and he's confident that he can accomplish just that, then the Orchid could really shut down a number of heroes.
Yeah, so I like this little pickup here. It does give him a lot more catching potential, which is something which the other 4 heroes, you got a ton of team fight, all this great burst damage, lockdown, but they're not all that mobile. Storm Spirit can give him that, and then buy time for the Mag, the Sand King to follow up with the Blink Daggers. So it's a nice little hero to combine with some of these others, and well, it does put KP in a bit of a pickle because of the aggressiveness of this QPad lineup. Sure, PL's a great sort of the carry hero left in the pool, but it's still risky, it's still dangerous. And KB have got to be considering what other options are there actually in the pool. Something like maybe an Alchemist, but I feel Alchemist is even more risky than a PL.
I don't know. I mean, they have a world of opportunity for charge time. They go for the Faceless Void, which is one of Eternal Envy's really powerful ones as well. He drops some great Chronos, and he certainly has the farm mindset intact. So if he can get an early Midas or something like that, he'll be in a great spot. Not if he go. One thing that he loves to do that I would say would be suicidal here is get the Mask of Madness before the Black King bar. If you do that up against this team, you're just gonna be asking to have 4-second cast bolts thrown in your face over and over. There's just no chance. But nevertheless, their lane will be strong. Rubik Bane, not the hardest kill combo, but nevertheless going to be effective enough to give him some space.
Yeah, and it's something which you can't really look to shut down properly if you're QPad. Running an offensive trial with Sand King is always very risky because of how weak the level 1 Burrow Strike is. So I think most likely they may be trading farm here or looking to run. QPad love their dual lanes. I'll talk about it again. This could be a dual lane mid with the CK Leshrac, and they could even run Sing Sing in the safe lane with the Sand King. Although I don't know how Sand King Storm Spirit will not struggle against the Darkseer. They just won't be able to really keep him out of the lane. I feel Darkseer could actually cause some issues there. So it'll be interesting to see how QPad look to lane this game.
So, pretty standard from, if we go over through the lineups, just what we're seeing out of Kaipi here. Zizu is going to be picking up that Bane once again. Arise is going to be on the Queen of Pain, and then we do see Eternal Envy starting off with that Poor Man's Shield Branches and being pulled Regeneration just to make sure he's going to have a good time there. Now we do also see Pylite on the Rubik right now heading up top to presumably ward up one of those creep pulls, and then of course Bone 7 is going to be the one on Suicide laning up top.
Yeah, for the dire side, QPad, the Red Pandas, we've got Jerex playing the Leshrac. I've casted, what, 9? I think I've casted QPad every single game so far. This is the 9th game of QPad I've casted, and I think I've seen 9 Lashraks, maybe?
Yeah, that's the same way for me and Kaipi. Man,
9
Zizu's
Banes.
Bane. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen another... I think one game I remember they were against a Lashrak. I don't know what he was playing that game, but... No, he played a support gyrocopter. I remember he played a support gyrocopter which got MKB and Satanic by the end as a support in a crazy game, but... He's on the Lashrak. Let's introduce the rest. Wagamama playing the Chaos Knight. We've got Mini playing the Sand King, Sing on the Storm Spirit, and then finally, on the offlane Mag, it's going to be Select.
Here's what the supports are doing up here. I mean, they could go for a Rune Snipe early on, but other than that, their position seems a little bit odd. I mean, if they want to go Eternal Envy 1v1 versus Select, the Poor Man's Shield definitely gives them the advantage, but I don't think I mean, it's not going to be free farm or anything, so I kind of think they should invest more to make sure that the Void is just going to have a safe and secure mid to late game, and right now just going for a first blood attempt. They might actually get this with the... Oh, that shouldn't happen. That should not happen.
Wow.
That is totally Gaben, Ice Frog, whatever. Not supposed to happen.
It's kind of like how they remove the small camp pulls.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was... They didn't state that was their actual intention. They stated that the cliffs was supposed to be 100% removed, but there's still, like, 2 tiny little spots where you can still get it up, and it's hard to fix 100%, but... Oh, well, wasting out 1 clarity, trading telekinesis for that Burrow Strike.
This is actually kind of hurting Mini. He's being pushed back quite a bit, used his clarity like you said, and he's only really got regen now as well as a smoke. Didn't go for any branches in this build, so this is going to be a bit of a tough time for him. The offensive trial is designed to prevent Sing Sing from getting too much farm, and I agree defending the Void is good, but I think Void should be able to get, if he lanes this well, should be able to get close to free farm, although Mag has done the smart thing, which is go for a level 1 Empower.
Yeah, he definitely has a lot more last setting potential with that bonus 10 damage right here. As far as trading back and forth, he'll generally find it unfavorable, especially if a bash proc comes on through. But in general, he should be able to find some farm. The question is how much, as far as denying especially, because honestly, Select hasn't been all that impressive in my opinion as far as last hitting goes. No offense to him. I mean, he's been in Dota 2 for only so long, but the time period that he has spent within it, I definitely think he could be trying to put that as one of his main things to work on, because he could do so much more. If he wins out his lanes, he has been able to teamfight so very effectively, and I think we can expect a lot from him in the future, just maybe not at the moment.
Yeah, hold on. I've just actually disconnected from the game, which isn't good, but I'm still on Dota 2, so I'm hopefully reconnecting right back, and I am. Nothing lost there. Darkseid, while I was going to comment on, Darkseid swung mid, so they did a rotation. They sent Queen of Pain top, Darkseid to the mid lane. This is, I guess, a slightly better hero for putting pressure on Sing Sing, not to mention a hero who's... They send Darkseid mid, who'll do slightly better against the dual lane. He's slightly tankier, and Queen of Pain very squishy against that dual stun combo at mid.
Interesting positioning. I mean, Bone 7 will be able to survive up against that dual combo really, really well, as mentioned. So even if they get a high roll of Chaos Bolt, even if it hits 2 seconds right now and follow up the Split Earth, it won't be too bad. The problem is there's not just 2. There's a third Sand King waiting in the wake, and he's going to go on to try to go and add in that Burrow Strike. Actually going under tower, though, I think this is a mistake.
Yeah, I think they can get this kill, but Sand King's going to take... Yeah, Sand King's going to pay for this with a lot of damage. He does get the tower aggro off him, and just gets the kill as Wagamama. The Reality Rift pulls him back in after the Surge, and well played by Sand King. He got the tower aggro off him, because otherwise he was going to take a fall there. But as you'd expect, gets the tower aggro off him. They do bring down Bone 7, but I think if that's a 2-second stun, they don't get the kill.
Yeah, especially since they stacked up the Split Earth on top of the Chaos Bolt. It was just a little bit of miscoordination. Luckily, it did hit 3 seconds, so they added an extra second on top of Jerax's stun, and from there, they were able to dish it out. Along with that, the other random factor of Chaos Bolt is its damage itself, and I think it was a pretty high roll there as well.
Yeah, well, QPad get themselves a first blood, which is going to get Wagamama his bottle at the mid lane, something which he can share with Jerax. He loves to do this, where he gets the early bottle, he can use it to heal himself and also heal Jerax's mana and HP, and then he gives it to Jerax to go get the runes, because he doesn't want to be leaving the lane, missing out on farm and XP, missing out on sort of lane control, and you know, it's a useful little tool to have. And once again, we're seeing QPad rotate the Sand King in towards mid lane. They really just want to get kills wherever they can, which right now it seems like it's mid lane mostly.
Yeah, Mini happy to camp that up, but at the very least, they did rotate Bone 7. He's the one taking the flag, and although he likes experience, it's not like he's going to be useless without it. Queen of Pain, on the other hand, if Arise doesn't get some points in Blink early, then he's never going to be able to survive those, and he's just going to be food for the slaughter. It's really, really not good for him. But the rank 2 Sand King will roam back on about and try to cover the bot rune.
Yeah, we are seeing Envy go for no points in Time Walk, which is interesting. I like going for the extra points in, extra points in Time Lock into this 1v1 melee hero matchup, but you'd expect maybe just 1 in Backtrack, 1 in the Time Walk. if you want to
look
go
at
for
these
kills.
bashes, though, man.
Yeah.
He's actually brought down Select to 200 HP.
This is
really, really bad.
This is how you want to play this 1v1 matchup. You want to go heavy points in time lock and just hit him whenever he comes in and just control the lane. We see 20 CS to the 21 of CK, and he's completely dominating the mag as far as farm goes. So he's having a really good start at this bottom lane. As soon as he hits 6, he can go for a kill.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is perfect, honestly. It's a little unorthodox, but yeah, he 100% can trade every single time. Poor man's shield, plus backtrack, and time lock, just a little bit of good RNG in his favor, and he's going to be fine. I mean, I think it might be a bit of a stretch, but you could even go Orb of Venom with this and just make sure that you always are gaining the advantage.
He's got no time walk, and he's
Proto,
going to get ganked.
he's dropping it.
Oh, he's going to go for this kill on Select here. The backup's not there in time. Select doesn't have mana for a skewer. He does now. He's going to skewer Envy back with him, and there's the stun. They're going to see Envy take a fall as well, but he gets the kill most importantly, but... The time looks do double damage during that Chronosphere. He only got 1, which is kind of what you'd expect based on the percentages of how many times he hit, but I think that was a little overzealous. I guess the main thing was Envy was not expecting the supports to rotate in.
Yeah. If he had gotten another bash, the skewer couldn't have possibly happened. He just then got the mana for it, so it would have been just a very narrow timing window. But yeah, he was ambitious. He thought he could do it 100%, and he had a little bit of information he didn't realize. Still got a 1-for-1. It's not like he got skewered in and disabled and didn't even get the magnets, but nevertheless, he was destroying that lane, and now it's kind of evened itself out just a little bit.
Yeah, that's when not having that 1 point in time walk can really cost him, because you've got the mana for both time walk and a Chronosphere. Just with your basic mana pool, but we'll see him maybe go back for that at level 7, especially now that he sees the supports already rotate once. He'll probably be even more afraid of that to continue on happening as, well, Kaipi, they get their first kill of the game, and now they're going to look for another kill in this bottom lane, maybe. They can't really kill off Select here,
no.
Especially without a point in that time walk.
Just riding on that time walk, man. He's happy to just get the
There
CS, honestly.
He's got it now. I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. This is what happens when I don't sleep and cast 9 games in a row. Sanking Leshrac, they're smoking up though. They're going, I guess, looking for either Queen of Pain or the Rubik. Problem is, Stormspirit, who's level 3, does not really offer anything to this gang. I don't think they can really get a kill at top lane in a 3v2 scenario unless they play it really well, which maybe they can in getting the Rubik here. Rubik is level 4 though, so Telekinesis stun, Fadebot may be enough to sort of counteract this smoke gang.
They know exactly where he is. They saw these neutrals just walk away. The centaurs just disappeared completely. But they did get a Sand King to level 3 down for that gank on bottom, and they're in a great position to go on through. They just saw a ward expire, but since they're smoked up, they don't need to worry about it. Anyways, Pylite is in a really rough spot because of Boots of Speed, though. It probably won't be enough. They will probably need... Oh, there we go. On to the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, they want this Queen of Pain. The Chain Stack maybe not going to come. The Telekinesis. Oh!
There it is.
So close to buying time for Sing Sing. Oh, sorry, for the Queen of Pain or Rise to get out of there. Sing Sing only just got the pull off. It was during the blink animation, but he buys time nonetheless. And Select. Uh-oh. He's got a skewer. Chronosphere.
Fortunately, hit Zizu, so less damage coming out, but Brain Sap should still come.
Whoa. He gets just enough damage off to kill him. I think it looked like it was 1 bash in that Chronosphere. Another kill going the way of Envy. He's playing this lane well. He's up to 1k gold now. I like this build coming out. I'd like to see him just go straight into the Battle Fury. It's the most sort of reliable damage build that there is. This is sort of like what Burning does on his Faceless Void. He goes treads into Battle Fury, then he goes for a BKB if he needs the survivability. If he doesn't, you can go damage either Mask of Madness or something like a Butterfly.
Yeah, and there's other pretty good things, especially up against the CK's Illusions. You go Maelstrom, and that can help out quite a bit. But it really it depends on your style, how early you want to fight. And pretty much Eternal Envy has to map out his time, go economy, or go aggressive, kind of rushing up some big combat items. So in this sense, Battle Fury, I think, would probably be the best course of action, because it's the best of both worlds. But they have to make sure that he has at least, let's say, 5 or 6 more minutes to work on that and then benefit from it from farming up creeps.
We're seeing QPad go for what's become their signature 3rd smoke of the game before 10 minutes now at bottom lane. It's at least their 2nd this game. It feels like their 3rd. They're going to go on Envy here. Stun going to lead things off. He doesn't time walk in time. 4 seconds. Absolutely perfect duration. Then Envy, he's backtracking as much as possible. He may actually survive this as a kill elsewhere on the map.
Oh my goodness.
Gets a kill at top lane, it looks like. Select going to take a fall there, and just enough backtracks. Strength treads.
Like, that was an hour of stun, and he's just like, whatever.
4 seconds from the Chaos Bolt. Sanking adds another 2. Yeah, 2.17, and then 2 from Leshrac. So 8 seconds of stun if you do it perfectly, and they were pretty close to perfect. It was at least 7.5 seconds there.
That is just... I would be calling hacks on the backtracks there. I mean, none of the spells were backtracked, but plenty of right clicks were, for certain. Either way, yeah, Faceless Void, those treads and Poor Man's Shield paying off. so much because he was able to just avoid so much damage there, and of course that kept him alive. There was the rotation gradually, but it wouldn't have been impactful in how that played out.
Sure, Envy has to go heal, but guess what? Zizou has an open bottom lane. He's getting close to level 6 now while Envy's healing up, so it's not the worst trade for him. Envy actually going to go towards the mid lane, realizing that getting this Bane level 6 can help out a lot, and the one thing they've done a great job of this game, they're actually going to go on Sing Sing. His Chronosphere's back up, and Sing Sing level 5, and Iron Shell damage, oh my gosh, that hurts. Fadebot comes in, and they're going to get Sand King as well. What a great decision from Envy to go lead things off at the mid lane. Surge Iron Shell. He's got 2 kills. He may even get a 3rd here. Jerax is invis.
About to expire. He's TPing now.
Yeah, he's going to get the hell out of there. And Envy is going straight for that Mask of Madness. Morbid Mask already picked up, and great play from Kaipi. They've done such a good job at A, shutting down the Storm Spirit, but B, just winning all the other lanes regardless. I mean, even if Storm Spirit was level 7 with some decent farm, they're still winning this game with how Void is playing right now.
Yeah, most definitely, and that's, I mean, right there, you don't generally see at 8.5 to 9 minutes in a Faceless Void just jumping on and leading the charge for a couple kills, but the way he's built his hero, he absolutely can do just that. He got right on top, and because Sing Sing has had such a rough time up on the top lane, he still doesn't have ball lighting. He's 60 experience shy, and that obviously was very bad for him. I don't think it would have saved him because the Chronos seemed to expire right as he himself died.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I mean, not having that escape mechanism, he just is so vulnerable, and they were able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, he's still sitting at just 700 HP, so whenever Chronosphere's up, if Envy wants to go for those kills, he can look for kills on that Storm Spirit. If there's no stun backup, if Leshrac doesn't get caught, ooh, Storm Spirit's going to immediately jump on mid lane on this Darkseid, Split Earth to follow, will land, Sand King's in range for a stun if he needs it, will stun onto Bone 7, Bone 7 Magic Wand not going to keep him alive, so nice gank there. Sing Sing recognizing as soon as he hits 6, he can get that kill, and does do so.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly about that usage of the Brain Sap there, because he did have his Fiend's Grip available, but obviously didn't feel confident in going in 2 versus 3 with Pilotti, only jumping in with a rank 2 burrow, when there is, of course, the rank 3 on the field. So it was, I think they could have gotten a little bit more out of that in return, but it was just a little bit too little too late, and Bane doesn't have that much mana to work with. So either way, really, really smooth pickoff, and good usage of Sing's first ultimate, bringing down Bone 7.
Well, this entire time, CK's been free farming. I just don't feel it's a good trade. I don't feel CK's the hero you need to be getting kills and be aggressive with. I don't know how you feel about this CK, but I just feel it's not really justifying itself, especially considering it was picked in the first 3.
Yeah, it was picked up very early. He's level 8, so he still has plenty of room. This is where he kind of hits his peak and has his most potential. And of course, he's building well with the armlet to back that up nicely. But kind of shifting focus a little bit over to Eternal Envy. He did end up going for that build that I already admitted. I honestly hate it, but we do have a Mask of Madness up on the Faceless Void. In a 1v1 matchup, great. But if he gets stunned while that's active, it's probably going to be a double-edged sword, which just might split his own throat.
He's going on in. Mask of Madness. There's going to be a stun in just a second here. CK's here, it looks like. No, it's Leshrac. He's going to get hit by the stun. Mask of Madness. Look how squishy he is.
Right on cue.
It really is. You talk about how this build is so questionable, and then we see it in action. Envy goes in for a solo kill. TP. Like, the thing is, he has full HP. There's so much time for a TP to counter that. And it's the right hero TPing. Leshrac, who can just lead things off with a stun in the Chronosphere, and Envy goes down. It's really not the best build for going for these aggressive kills. It's great maybe for a pub game, but right now, against a coordinated team like the Red Pandas, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and this is the last game of this group stage. Literally, whoever wins this game will be proceeding on to the playoffs. The other one 100% eliminated. So with that in mind, it just kind of going all in like that, I feel like, yeah, they put the chips on the table and they want that gamble to pay off. But right now, I honestly feel it's just going to do too much harm.
Yeah, well, we'll see how things progress from here with this build. But he's going to be very, very squishy for the near future. And it's not as bad as the one build which I saw. I can't remember who was doing it in one program, but they went Midas as well as Mask of Madness and Treasure. It's like you stack that much attack, it's just not good. Well,
actually, interesting this round.
Zizou gonna be caught out here. It looks like he's gonna be kept alive by a Brain Sap here. Sing Sing's still trying to fly and do damage, but Sing Sing's out of mana. He's gonna get gripped up as well. Meanwhile, on the backline, Select his first RP of the game. Gonna do decently here, but the Queen of Pain showed up, doing so much work here. Arise, Blink, Scream, double kill, triple kill. Oh my gosh, Arise just cleans up. They only lose the Darkseid. Jerax getting bashed to pieces. Envy, once again, is the Bash Lord. Oh, stun, TP.
He's got it.
It took Arise to come back in. He gets the Ultra kill.
Yeah, Yeah, that was so good from Arise. That timing couldn't have been more perfect. And honestly, the person they started off on, Zizu, it got turned around so well because it was a big smoke egg, and Waga's like, okay, screw it, drop a 4-second stun on him, turn it around where you can't get Fiend's Grip. It did keep him up and fighting, so they did make it into a fight rather than just a quick pickoff, but in the end, hindsight 2020, we see that it actually paid off even less because that was an ultra kill from Arise, and of course that was already a kill on one of the others, so a full team wipe. And they didn't even get the Bane they were looking for.
Well, say what we like about his Mask of Madness. Right now it's Kaipi with a 4k gold lead and the XP lead getting up to about 5k after that team fight. So they're looking pretty good. Queen of Pain sort of coming in at the right time with some backup. And this is a very early game centric build. 2 nulls, treads for Queen of Pain. Probably see an ultimate or picked up to start building towards the side of the Vice if he wants to go that way. Or we see the start making of an Orchid bit. Right now, it's really QPad Red Pandas who need to make something happen, need to sort of latch some sort of ganks and teamfights together, select on the mag with the RPs. He's sort of underfarmed, which is what you'd expect as that offlane, although he wasn't a 1v1 matchup, but things for QPad. This is it. Do or die.
Most definitely. Armlet going to be up for CK relatively quickly. It looks like, yeah, he has the recipe, so now just 200 gold away, and that's going to actually allow him to be a real player in these fights. Before, he was kind of, he can initiate for his team, pull somebody back on in. He probably has the biggest range of initiation with Reality Rift, but nevertheless, he wasn't feeling confident about being on the front line. This Armlet changes that. He's able to jump on in, he has a much bigger strength buffer, and from there, of course, he dishes out a heck of a lot of damage as well. So I think this is going to change their mentality, where they can start initiating, and Sing on the Storm can pretty much go as deep as he wants to.
Yeah, he's got to be careful at the top lane. Now going to be look to go in on the Rubik. Rubik, easy pick off. Sing going to use a lot of mana to go flying in. Needs to be careful because he's going to be low here. Vacuum is going to try and deter the chase, but 2 pickoffs nonetheless for QPandas. And can they follow this up with a tier 1 tower as well? They haven't got the best pushing lineup, but CK on the front lines is pretty tanky and pretty solid right now.
Yeah, really just, I mean, clean pickoffs, 100%. They have the range of initiation. I started off saying that Reality Rift is really long range, and we see it proven before our eyes. Along with that, Sing has enough mana to follow up on pretty much whatever kill he wants to a relative degree. Obviously, he's not jumping around with a full, like, 2400 range of initiation, but it's substantial, and one single stun leads to so darn many. QPanda drafting up this heavy disable lineup. They pretty much, if you get one, you get them all. But of course, you don't want to focus them all on one person because the cavalry can just come on in and Face the Void can go swinging. But nevertheless, I really feel that if they're looking for pickoffs, just get one single skill off and suddenly you get everything 100%. You can lock somebody down.
Yeah, QPad is a very swingy lineup with the amount of disables they have. Even when they're behind, they can still kill heroes with ease. When there's no BKBs up, BKB is what we'll be seeing, I think, from Envy. Apparently his sort of like trademark Void build is like a Mask of Madness Maelstrom build, even though they don't directly stack. You just don't lifesteal when you get the electric proc. So maybe this is even the Maelstrom, which he likes to go for, but we'll have to wait and see if it's going to be BKB or Maelstrom.
Going in, they're looking at mid. Waga could be in a bad spot here.
No Chronos for use yet. He will decide to end up using it. Sand King's there nearby. Could stun. No Epicenter. They're not even going to go in for the kill. He's going to stun on the Queen of Pain. There's a grip though. Wagamama going to be brought down. It looks like MB not going to re-engage here as they do throw a lot of killing off the CK. Storm going to try and go in. He's being slept up. Is there any stuns? There's a telekinesis in 7 seconds, so they can't really kill off Sing, but a lot of ultis used just for a Chaos Knight there.
Yeah, true. But, I mean, they still got the pick, and most of these aren't that long of cooldowns here, especially the Fiend's Grip and the Chrono. They are going to have to wait it out for the Sonic Wave a little bit. That might have been a bit much, but they found their opportunity. They wanted to make their smoke worthwhile, and seeing him just walk right on into it, they're like, okay, Mask of Madness up, let's jump on in. And now they're going to take the Tier 1 tower, which just adds into the bounty.
Making his way through the jungle here. He's got a Quelling Blade up, and he's just cutting down tree after tree. Skewer actually on cooldown. He's not going to get caught out. Tier 1 tower does go down, and Faceless Void of all heroes does pick it up, so ideal scenario for Kaipi.
Just remember, it reminds me of, I don't know if you were involved at all in Warcraft 3 Ladder, but Night Elves BMing by ending the game by just tunneling through the trees with all their buildings, because they can eat trees. It just reminds me of that, where you're just like hiding, making an underground railroad you can just jump on through. It's pretty ridiculous.
My favorite strat with that, I was a bit of a, like, I played Night Elf myself, was you pretend to be AFK, you'd, right off the start, you'd uproot your tree and start chewing through, and you'd build a second tree of life, and then leave your whiffs AFK, as if the game had loaded and you're AFK. They go in, they kill your whiffs, they kill your main base, and the game doesn't end. They're like, wait, why didn't the game end? I thought this guy was AFK, but you have a second tree of life just sitting in the trees hiding. And because it's a tree of life, you don't get revealed. Well, dead Queen of Pain. That's, I feel like Queen of Pain getting 3-man gank was nowhere near as cool as my Wisp cheesy strats in Warcraft 3.
Yeah, you got to get the line perfectly. Though. All 5 Wisps just chilling out. But
yeah,
definitely.
that's the issue, because one of them has to actually rebuild the Tree of Life, which is always where the issue comes in. But hey, we'll see. KP, they now find themselves down a man, possibly even down another man. Pylai die. He's going to do just that. He's dying.
And this is good rotation for QPandas. This is pretty much how they like to play their game. They rotate to smart locations, they find pickoffs, and they certainly have the range of initiation to make that happen. Good smoke coming on through. Turned out to be unnecessary, as the Radiant wards are quite lacking in their own jungle. They're actually going for offensive wards. What do you think about the current placement?
I think for the Radiant team, if they can find pickoffs using this, it's pretty good. Right now, there's 2 mid lane wards very close together, which is sort of offering similar sort of vision, but I don't think they want to get too aggressive, considering the amount of AoE stun that QPandas have and the potential to turn these fights around. I think more than anything, they're offensive wards just to scat up movements. It's not like, if they see a hero alone, they go for him, but if they're not going to look to sort of just go 5-man push on the other side of the map. So I think for the most part, both teams with great ward coverage, especially the QPandas.
So, yeah, I mean, they're definitely showing that they want to be aggressive. They want to be players and put some kills on the board. Right now, tying it up. But it's just something that I don't really feel that you generally do when you have a Faceless Void. You generally go late game, you're like, okay, I have the best anti-carry available. They didn't pick a dual-core lineup to an extent. They just have Waga on that CK. But they're going to go in, and they seem to have an opportunity right here on the CK.
Wow, he got
turned off Armlet right then.
Yeah.
But,
turned off Armlet, the Fiend's Grip was right on top, and Chronosphere now going to catch 2. Sandking, he can Epicenter from outside. He's not going to do so, he's just going to stun things up. I think that was actually a smarter decision. And now Envy, the Mask of Madness making him so squishy. Select catches 2 in the RP. Can they bring down Envy? No. Oh yes, they just get him with the last right click. It's going to be Leshrac picking him off. Now they go into the Bane. Bane brought down. Killing spree for Sing Sing. He had such a slow, bad start, but he's really turned things around. He's almost actually finished his Orchid, and well, the fight's not over. Darkseer as well as Queen of Pain trying to finish off this Sand King. Sand King stunned to the low ground. He is going to get out of there. Blink from the Queen of Pain will keep up and finish off the kill. So 2 for 2 trade it looks like, but killing off the Void, getting Storm Spirit some kills, only losing the Chaos Knight, who was, I mean, he was dead regardless. Seems like a good turnaround from the QPandas.
Yeah, definitely a good turnaround in that scenario. I really felt, like you said it, the Sand King should have epicentered outside. It's a perfect initiation when the Void's on your team, so why not when he's against you? He was in a great spot, but instead just burrowed on in. It did help out mitigate a little bit of damage, but nevertheless, I think he could have actually output a little bit more if he dropped the Epi. Either way, they can't complain about the trade. They did lose Waga early, but then they followed up with some really, really clutch kills. So in the end, I still think QPandas were in a pretty good spot in spite of those subsequent deaths, but they could have, I think, profited a little bit more so.
Yeah, well, Wagamam is a lot more disposable at this point than Salisbury. He's always got his first item up. He's less of a sort of snowball hero. He's just going to be that tanky front line. So they're going to be a lot happy about losing him than someone like the Storm Spirit. Even Select, you want to get his Blink Dagger up right now. I feel Waga at this point, items are great on CK, but they're not essential when you've already got some tanky items up.
So timing that Magnus's Blink Dagger, we've always been looking at, and it seems like every single game is later and later. Select is having some rough games back to back. It's understandable given the laning situation he's put on into, but in this point, he is sitting at 1750. He's still a full 400 gold off of that Blink Dagger. Do you think there would have been openings where they could have actually been able to take team fights more effectively with that Blink?
It seems like they've actually managed decently without the Blink. Like we saw in that last fight, they executed okay with that. Bone 7's, he's dead at top lane, but the big thing is, like we saw that top lane fight, because everyone groups up in the Chronosphere leads up for a Sand King. Some Mag just can walk in or Skewer in pretty easily to get those RPs off. The Blink Dagger will help a lot, but it doesn't seem like it's been essential for QPad by any means.
Yep, smoke is up. Envy has his BKB. Could be instrumental in this team fight.
Well, we'll see if that's We'll see if they're actually going to take this fight. Darkseid does have buyback if they want to try and catch QPanda by surprise, because right now QPanda with 5 heroes, it looks like they want to go for this T1 tower, and this could play into KP's hands if they set things up right.
10-second buyback too strong. But no, I think they'll just be able to wait it out, have the Darkseid TP on it, and then have the smoke still at the ready. Oh, it did expire. So right now, as far as Dire Vision, they only have Vision of Rubik. That's it.
Oh no, it's a Radiant ward. Sorry, I'm thinking that's a QPanda ward. Never mind, they don't see anything whatsoever really. And
this could be really good. Eternal Envy going in.
He's just gonna saves the BKB. Now he pops it. Needs to get that Chronosphere off soon. Only catches Wagamam. Storm Spirit flies on over. He's trying to bring down the Bane on the sideline. Not gonna see a grip and Select. There we go. Blink RP catches out 3, but there's not really enough damage to follow things up. It's Queen of Pain with a Sonic Wave. Darkseid's gone in, getting very, very low. One Storm Spirit last hit will finish him off. Now Storm, it looks like he gets gripped up at the very end, and QPanda get completely team wiped here. What a team fight coming out from KP. They just had the BKB pickup from Envy just made him unkillable, and his damage output is just seriously starting to hurt now.
Yeah. Can we say like a 3-man RP baited? Like that's like you set it up, and instead of the pins getting knocked down, that just gets thrown the completely other direction. They were so prepared for that. Arise with another big counter initiation, setting it up. The fight down at bottom was great for him when he got that ultra kill, but in this position, I felt he did even more work with perfect timing of all their AoE abilities, and honestly, QPandas just evaporated.
Yeah, and Pilot, he did steal the Burrow Strike. I didn't actually see too much if he got many of those off, but it's one of those spells which is just AoE stun. In some ways, it's as good as stealing an RP in some scenarios because it's got the shorter cooldown. It's much more reliable. It gives you the sort of the mobility, the long-range initiation where RP you have to actually get in there. Without a Blink Dagger, it's hard. He does have a Blink Dagger up now on his Rubik, but this is a very useful spell to have stolen. And QPandas now, they're behind by 5k gold, which has sort of been the case for some time, but it's suddenly taken a big jump upwards, and oh man, they're in a bit of trouble now.
Yeah. So one thing I mentioned before on QPanda's lineup, and I gotta make the same complaint this time around, is no mech carriers. They survived long enough in that fight that they could have at least popped each other off for 250 HP each, and that would give them enough time to at least swing back, maybe take one down with them. But in that situation, when the AoE came out, of course they're not gonna have a pipe, but still, no mechanism at all. They have the Blink Dagger on Magnus. We saw it to great effect there. But as soon as the burst damage comes out and gets AoE'd up, that's it. And we do see Burst Strike onto Pilate.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple pickoffs here. If they can get the Queen of Pain as well, it's really big. Bone 7 pokes his head up, but he's going to quickly realize he can't come in. And Bone 7 could have almost been picked off there. The Orchid was still there for the Storm. So this is what QPad have to keep doing. Find pickoff after pickoff. They can't afford to team fight. It just goes disastrously wrong. And QPad, they're pushing towards the mid lane. I don't like this, though. Void has no mana. I don't know if they know this, but Void could be there with a Chronosphere. Unfortunately for KP, they don't have the mana to do so.
Blink on Darkseer once again. Bone 7 loves to get that instantaneous initiation. I don't know how well it'll set it up here because it's pretty much just a Chronosphere rather than like an RP or a Echo Slam to set up. But I think it can still be, if they communicate well, used to great effect. You get a 5-man Chrono because of that Blink Vacuum. You can follow that up, of course, with the Sonic Wave. And although Queen of Pain isn't level 16 yet, she's moving that direction, and they still don't really have much to keep their team alive as a whole. As you were saying, they're much more oriented towards that takeoff lineup rather than their push lineup. We do see, as far as this Roche goes, Mini is on the high ground here, looking to go for an Epi burrow into the pit as needed. Yeah. But right now, it's taken Kaipi quite a long time to get this smoke off.
I don't mean to point fingers, but this came out. Envy was top lane, like I said. He couldn't defend the mid-tier 1 tower because he had no mana. He was farming in the top dire jungle, and he had to TP home, get his mana back up before they could move out. They do move out. They could have actually taken Roshan there. They were just... Yeah. They weren't sure. They don't know that Envy was healing up. They don't know that Envy wasn't in position to go. Envy going to go time walking right in. Scouts out. No one does see that Roshan had some damage done to it. And, well, QPad, they're going to play things safe, which was... I definitely think the smarter and the higher percentage play there, so rightfully done.
Mm-hmm. So, Geometry Sight up on the Bane, they're gaining map control here. They were able to take down a Sentry Ward in the river, and now they're looking to just continuously establish their dominance, get vision, and get the opportunities to favorably engage. Eternal Envy on the front line. He has mana up for both, and so he's going to be willing to use that very, very aggressively in this next fight. But I gotta say, QPad have great positioning themselves. I was going on in.
Oh, Singh needs to be careful. One Fiend Script could spell his death as Vacuum is going to follow things up. This is really hard to defend if you're QPanda. You just don't have the solid initiation without a Blink Dagger on the Sand King. I think the best way to try and go in is with a Blink Skewer. You're not going to be able to catch a 5-man RP. KP's positioning has just been too good. You have to use Skewer as if it's something like a Bat Rider Lasso. Blink in, try Skewer one in, and then pick him off without grouping up too much. If you group up, Faceless Void Chronos you. But if you only have 2 heroes, maybe focusing down whoever gets skewered back in, you can maybe set things up. But otherwise, KP are just going to start getting this tower uncontested. Oh, Storm.
Wow. Big bait.
They're going to try to bring him down, which is maybe a big mistake here. Select goes right into the Chronosphere. Envy with a well-placed Chrono brings down Select. Sonic Wave is there, and now we're going to see Mini fall as well. Not the engagement that QPandas could really afford to do.
Mm-hmm. They get the Fiend Script on Waga too, so they get the take on the carry in the end. That was the biggest bait. I mean, they couldn't have been more obvious.
I'm surprised they went for that.
They really wanted it.
The backup was really far away. But Darkseid just picked up a Blink Dagger, so instant Blink Vacuum.
Yeah.
He was so fast to protect him, and they didn't know he had the Blink Dagger. But even so, it was still. Even without the Blink Vacuum, maybe they get a slightly more damage on Envy. They weren't going to kill him.
I don't know. They'd already seen Bone 7 use the Blink Vacuum once and missed it on the tier 2 completely. So if they had actually considered that, they would have realized that the vision that they didn't have, they should have realized there was potential for them to be there. Anyways, when they went on Eternal Envy, got the BKB off so darn quick that they just, everything that they tried to do fell on deaf ears.
Aegis,
but no.
He went for it. At this point, you kind of have to go for something like that. Envy now goes onto the high ground with the Mask Commander. Sing Sing thrown up in the air. He's got a Ghost Scepter up, but he may be brought down anyways. He is. Leshrac could be the next take a fall. Envy, no, not going to go chasing. Jerax will get out of there, but tier 2 tower at bottom, maybe even just go for the tier 3 at mid now with Storm on the sidelines.
Yeah. Is there any perspective you can look at QPandas, what they could visualize, and think that the pick off on Eternal Envy was a good idea there?
I don't think there was any way they could have done anything worse there. It was just a really bad engagement. It was the Aegis still there, I think, was necessary from Sing Sing, but that mid fight from him was just not the right Panda.
Yeah, it's good to try for the Aegis, but he didn't have much mana to work with. But yeah, no, in that situation in mid, like, there's no way that couldn't have been a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Like, that, of course, if you get him before the BK comes out and the initiation's too far away, you win a fight, which is definitely what they want, because they've been losing 5v5s left and right. But nevertheless, that was just way too much to go for right there.
Yeah, as much as I don't want to make excuses for them, this is their 9th game in a row.
Sure.
Well, for both teams, but we can see maybe it coming into play there, as that was not a well thought out decision. But when you play that many games, it really does get exhausting and somewhat draining for you as a player. So QPanda, though, their back is up against the wall here. Kaipi looking in a really good position to qualify for that top 8 position in the WePlay, the final bracket playoff stage of this event, as they'll join teams like Na'Vi, Fnatic, Alliance, Mouse Sports, who are awaiting them there. And well, they've got to seed the high ground, which is going to be their next big step.
And Dignitas, of course, who have already taken down number 1, but Eternal Envy.
He's good. I mean, Pool takes no damage whatsoever. Lifesteals his way back up to full HP. He's got a completed Daedalus here, and QPandas don't want to go on him because of the Aegis, the BKB, and all this backup. There's a Blink Telekinesis. There's a Blink Vacuum from the Darkseer. There's Queen of Pain who can come in with a BKB. Envy taking quite a bit of damage, does get mech'd up here. They're trying to just get rid of the Aegis without engaging on him. If they can kill him with just one hero and get rid of the Aegis, then it's a good fight for QPandas, but they can't engage on him.
You gotta think of how afraid they are right now. They didn't even blink skewer him. Like, Select is like, there's a 4-second stud right in front of me. I'm within 1200 range, but he didn't want to go for the blink skewer. Maybe the Bane could have gotten the Fiend's Grip. I don't know, but really, they are terrified right now.
Well, Arise has the TP top. It looks like Sanking was pressuring that tier 2 top there, also trying to farm up his Blink Dagger. That's the one thing which can maybe help QPad to get back into this game slightly, is having a Blink Dagger on this Sanking. He's going to have enough gold for it now after this bottom lane farm. As we'll see QPad given some space, but I mean, really, they're given space, but look at what KP are doing with it, getting more and more farm. Envy up to 2k gold. Some of these other heroes are getting a lot more gold themselves as well. Darkseer, Blink Mech, 2.7k. It's really starting to look very, very hard for QPad to come back. They're behind by more than 10k gold and XP as well.
Yeah, this is getting worse and worse for them by the minute. And as far as late game, I've already talked about this, but Faceless Void taking on the Chaos Knight will always be favorable for Envy, whatever position, as long as he has the defensive items and skills to back up the offensive ones. And in this position, yes, he has Mask Menace and a Daedalus, but the BKB is still at 8 seconds, and he feels rather confident in himself to be able to take this away. I mean, even if he went for something as simple as a Butterfly, he'd be in a still perfectly fine position to move on forward and just completely, and not 1v5 necessarily, but set it up, get enough kills that his impact is known, and Kaipi can clean it up 100%.
Yeah. It really is just Kaipi, and it's not just, at this point, it's not just Faceless Void. You've got a Rice who's going to have a Sheepstick soon on top of his BKB, and this is 3k gold there, and level 16, so it's a level 3 Sonic Wave, and he can bring down some of these heroes incredibly fast when nice and squishy. So even heroes like Sing Sing, if he gets caught by Disable, he's going to die to the burst damage that Queen of Pain can offer. And for Kaipi, it looks like they want to start thinking about Raxus here at the top lane. They've got Aegis for a couple more minutes, and as a result, they think they can maybe look to break the high ground.
So, Walgus doing the best he can. He isn't powered up, he's farming away, but as far as the items, this is something that I complained about before in the last match, but he hasn't found anything in the past handful of minutes. Like, he's got Drum, he's got Armlet, he's got Treads, but he really doesn't have this farm mindset when it comes to Chaos Knight. He wants to get kills, and that has been used to some great effect. I mean, he's gotten 3, he's assisted in 4, but as a whole, his GPM is just falling behind so far, 319. Compared to that of the 512 Faceless Void, who didn't even have to get a Battle Fury to get this level of gold per minute.
Yeah, he's just been team fighting, getting just regular farm. His actual CS isn't... Oh, he's ahead by a long shot here, but that's just considering QPanda have no sort of good farming and CSing heroes of their own. CK not really a good flash farmer. Even Storm Spirit not ideal for that either.
Yeah, in this position with Rubik, he's stolen Castbolt. That won't be for long, but he still has that Blink Dagger. And it's an impending threat where you can get the best RP steal ever. So even when you think you got an amazing initiation, it'll just be turned around completely on you. And these Observer Wards really showing. I was complaining about them at first because I didn't feel they needed to go aggressive, but now force the issue. Perfectly fine to do so. They have such an advantage. And these Observer Wards from Kaipi up on the top entrance to the lane, and of course over by the entrance to the jungle, they are raring to go to try to make something happen and really get a favorable team fight. They just need one more smoke, and I honestly think they could seal the deal.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're waiting so long, because this Aegis is going to be expired. It's got less than a minute on it, it looks like, and so by the time they fight, there's not going to be any more Aegis, which means they're probably not going to be looking for any risky plays. They may take team fights just because they have a better team fight lineup with the Void, the Chronosphere, the Queen of Pain with this item, the Queen of Pain with the Side of the Vice now as well. So they've got the much better team fight, but they're not going to look to sort of go really deep into enemy territory and sort of go for those big aggressive team fights, but they can still afford to do so, even without the Aegis on Faceless Void, which is going to be expiring now. They maybe
but they're still willing to go.
Yep. Darkseid just gets into that smoke.
They have to pull something, a rabbit out of the hat right here for QPanda if they're going to be able to make this happen. They do have a rank 2 Epi Blink. We have yet to see that. And they have a lot of potential, but Sing Sing right now...
Blink Hex, and there's a Telekinesis.
Might be it.
Not even worth... He just melts, and he's got no buyback, so straight down the mid lane. Probably not even worried about having no Aegis here. Envy maybe going to pick up something like a Reaver here. No, Eagle Song. He's going Butterfly. Switches back to Sprint Threads and...
Their individual actions right now aren't really telling us anything. Like that pick-off on Sing Sing, you know, you have to branch out a little bit, and you can't just imagine they're always going to be smoked right in the middle of the map. But in this situation, that it's kind of what's been built up to. We see already that gigantic advantage in golden experience, and they are very far behind. Wow. So until they turtle it up and they get something big, get one little pick-off on Eternal Envy, they're going to be just kind of completely screwed over. They just need one big fight. But I just don't see it happening.
They're getting the space and time to sort of get these next items up, and I mean, they literally turtle up, because KP are just sort of backing off, going back to farm out the other lanes, while QPandas are stuck in their own base, still farming out whatever lanes come near them. But it really is, they're just turtled up, and they're not really keeping up. KP getting further and further ahead. It's pick-off after pick-off, farm all over the map going the way of KP. They've got what, 3 heroes farming their neutrals. They've got Void farming the enemy neutrals. They've got Queen of Pain now going to be farming the enemy neutrals. All 5 heroes farming, whereas for the Dire side, they're grouped up like 5 heroes farming in one place.
Yeah, I mean, they're out of options is essentially it. They're like constantly afraid of a smoke gank. They go on forward. This is probably the furthest out they can go. They're farming here in this position. They take a creep wave, and they either have to smoke together to fight something, which they are doing that just now, or they just run for the hills and they hide in their base. There's their 2 options, cower or fight, and at least they're taking the fight, going down swinging perhaps, but they're going to go and technically have a chance to pick up the Rubik, but he is definitely moving it back as rapidly as possible.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Dire Sentry would even maybe spotted them on top of the Sentry.
Well,
you
they're
could
Dire,
get some vision.
so...
Oh, sorry, no, I'm about to say they're Dire. What am I talking about? Getting delusional again.
Dude, 9 games, too much. But well, yeah, this is their last... I think this is almost their last stand. Of course, they're not doing it in their base, but still. Going out, they get some vision, possibly on to Envy here.
Radiant Team saw it. They're pinging it. They know something was there, and well, it doesn't last, but it only lasts, what, 10 seconds? 12 seconds. So they know he was there very recently, and they're going to back off. Both teams backing off. QPad right back to their base. KP made sure they were grouped up, so if they did run into anyone, they could take the fight. And this fight is going to be very hard for QPandas to speak. And it looks like they're going to wait for the next Roshan. Even though they had Aegis before and didn't do much with it, next time they're going to have a Butterfly on Void, Queen of Pain who's had this Sheep Stick, and with these items up in an Aegis, it's probably going to be Rax's.
So working towards BKB, CK will have that in 200 gold, but I don't kind of feel like that changes the pace of what's been going on. He will avoid a lot of Queen of Pain damage, but she has a lot more tricks up her sleeve, and so does the entire team as a whole. So in this kind of position, they get the Shiva's Guard, the major initiation from Darkseer, and then Eternal Envy is just getting so farmed that he can handle at least 2 or 3 people at once. They're just getting to this point where the last Roche will be this last opportunity. Sing dropping some remnants, gonna get some vision here as it respawns in approximately 10 seconds, but yeah, we'll have to see. This looks like it's going to be the final countdown.
He needs to be careful, because he's sitting right on top of a KP ward, so KP could look to jump this soon, but not going to happen just yet. Roshan not up yet, but it will be up soon. Envy picks up his butterfly, not even worried about buyback, and with good reason. There's no real way of having him being killed off. Sing Sing needs to be careful. There's a potential gank coming in here. There is a Blink's Hex or a Blink Telekinesis. Plenty of ways to try to pick him off, but Roshan, it looks like we're going to see it respawn. It is being pinged out by QPandas, so it seems they know the time and they're going to look to make a play on this, because this could be their final stand now.
Absolutely. Eternal Envy gets a very, very fortuitous double damage rune. He's got the 35% evasion, the 25% backtrack. He's raring to go, and they have to make a play right this second. Well,
it looks like they know that QPanda are going to maybe try and contest this. Envy pulls the Roshan away from those remnants. Although, fully aware of the fact they can just sort of scout things out here, and Envy going to be the only one in the Roshan pit. The rest of the KP team, ooh, they're going to see there's a Chronosphere, as well as 3 heroes caught out in it, and this looks like the end. Envy with a triple kill, moves on to Sing Sing. Sing just going to fly the hell out of there. Sanking now, caught out. Is there any disables? Nothing to sort of cancel his TP, but 3 hero swing, right back into the Roshan pit. Envy going to finish off Roshan.
Yeah.
I mean, what do QPandas do at this point?
Exactly, nothing at all. In the words of Sing Sing, splat. I mean, just jumping on in. Great initiation from Bone 7. Pops off the vacuum and the Shivas, while Eternal Envy follows up with a time walk up the cliff into a very, very solid Chronosphere. It wasn't incredible, but they didn't need it to be because they were already so far ahead, and QPandas have nothing to answer back with. They pretty much have the 20 seconds, and then they'll come back on in, try to go for a team fight, and it's just not going to work out for them there because they're up against 2 Faceless Voids, and from there, they just roll over. This is pretty much it.
Yeah, this is be at least Rax, it seems, with 3 heroes still on the sidelines. Let's try respawning soon. Looks like they're just going to go for kills. They don't even worry about the tier 3 tower on the Raxes. They get a kill. They're just buying time for the rest of the QPandas to respawn. Only Sanking dead now, but Raxes, regardless, are going to be taking a fall.
Yeah, and there's nothing.
This just seems like, for the last 15 minutes, it seems like one of those StarCraft 2 games where people are just saying, why aren't you calling GG? But Envy is going to get caught by an RP on his own. Blinking from the Rubik, not going to be able to catch out that RP. Storm looks like he wants to go on this Rubik, but it's Faceless Void, still doing tons of damage. GG is going to be called. It looks like QPad just wanted to try see if there was any hope of a mistake coming out from Eternal Envy squad KP, but nothing
just
comes.
chewed through Waga. He got a couple crits in it, but shoot, that was like 5 or 6 auto attacks on a armleted CK. It's just like go on in, no problem at all. And I wouldn't say this looks like one of those SC2 games. It probably looks closer to a little bit of Dota 2, but in this situation, Dota 2, there are games that drag on a little bit longer than they need to, but I understand why Kaipi took as long as they did. Very methodical in this, and they knew second that they had this second Aegis, they were fine. And Sing Sing's going to bash to death.
Oh my gosh.
A couple of crits in there, it's just too much.
Double critted dead. Well, this is it. QPandas are going to be knocked out here in, well, the round of 16. We're going to see KP join Dignitas from Group C advantage. So Dignitas win the group with 2-2-1 wins. They take down Empire, then they took down the QPandas, but it's going to be KP finishing in second place. So well played by KP to sort of turn things around.
Yeah, that was just really, really impressive. I mean, they went into the lower bracket. They lost versus Dignitas in the first best of 3. Then they went up against Empire, the other losers, in the second best of 3. Again, these were all 2-1 games, so they took a game off in every single match. But Kaipi beat out Empire and now fought extremely hard with a flourish and finished out Game 2 and Game 3 with some very, very impressive victories. So moving on through, they are decided as second place, and that means they do move on to the playoffs.
Yep, so we've got 6 of our 8 teams for the playoff bracket decided. They'll be joining Mouse Sports, Na'Vi, as well as Fnatic and Alliance, Dignitas and KP, that is, and 2 more teams will be decided tomorrow. So tomorrow we've got Group D, which is Evil Geniuses, Team Liquid, Fnatic NA, as well as Cater Gaming, fighting over 2 spots. 2 obvious favorites there, sort of a complete opposite of this group. This group is one of those groups where you could say any of the 2 teams have an almost equal shot. Tomorrow it's like, well, EG and Liquid the obvious favorites, but Fnatic NA as well as Cater Gaming probably be looking for some upsets there.
Yeah, a lot of NA Dota coming up, so that'd be cool.
3 NA teams tomorrow. But anyways, guys, that's going to conclude things for today. I need to get some good old rest. More importantly, some food in me. I'm really hungry. Having casted since, like, what, 6 a.m.? It's now 4 p.m. That's a good solid 8 hours, 8-9 hours of casting. But be sure to follow Beyond the Summer, and more importantly, follow the casters, follow the guys who sort of update you, let you guys know when live matches are going. I've been joined by Blaze Casting, who is twitter.com/blazecasting, or Blaze for short. Winter was joining me earlier. Be sure to follow Winter as well. That's twitter.com/winterdota. And me, I am twitter.com/btsgods. Guys, I say same time tomorrow. I don't think it is the same time tomorrow. I think we actually start a couple hours later. I think we start at 17 CET maybe. Don't hold me to that, but I think we start at 17 CET tomorrow with our Group D. Blaze will be casting over on Beyond the Summit 2. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. And myself or LD or some combination of the two will be casting over on the Beyond the Summit 1 channel. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We both need some rest. Any final words from you, Blaze?
Awesome games, awesome series. Very, very happy to see these guys clash onto it and take it away. Really, like I said, I kind of thought QPad would figure out the strategy a little bit and just kind of sock it to him. But in this case, it was just a couple of mistakes by QPad. A lot of it comes down to endurance. And in this sense, the slightest mistake was really, really punished. So I think the Kaipi, although a lot of people don't consider them anywhere near Tier 1 team now, comparing what they played even 2 weeks ago to what they're playing now, massive strides forward. And I definitely expect them. I mean, obviously, they just placed in a lineup with QPad, Empire, Dignitas, and themselves. They placed in the top 2 of that. So that just shows their skill level with individual play, and as a team, they're moving on forward, and I can't wait to see what they have to bring to us. Maybe not in this next few days, but over the course of the next few weeks and months. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, KP really seem to be a team on the rise, and I mean, especially with TI3 coming up, they're definitely a team you sort of have to put into consideration as being maybe not a definite invite, but a potential invite, and definitely a team if there are qualifiers who you sort of slot in there. So great to see KP playing well, and QPad, another team who've been playing well, just seem at times to maybe be let down by their drafting or overall strategy, but they played well today. Everyone played well today. That's the great thing. We had every series go to 3 games. There were a couple, obviously your whiffed RPs, your big overextensions, but overall it's just fantastic, Dota. I definitely agree there. So, guys, that's it from me. I'm going to be tuning on out. We'll play a few ads, so big thanks to everyone who stays tuned in as we do a couple ads to round things off. We'll also have a rebroadcast of all of today's games, which is the G1 League match between Dignitas and QPad, and then followed up by all 9 games of broadcast here on Beyond the Summit 1. I was doing some solo casting, then I was joined by Winter, then I was joined by Blaze. So thanks everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with We Play Dota 2 action. See you guys.
See you.